hopping on, that means you have some interest in the Philippines, and this kind of came out of the blue if you're wondering why you didn't hear about it. It is a different way of launching into a country. So I'm going to go over what it means. And then I'll talk about how we do it, how we enroll people, and the rules that I know and things. So I'm I'm trying to soak up as much of the information about this as I can, because I feel like this is something that so many people can benefit from, because there's so many contacts. There's so many contacts there. So I'll tell you everything I know, and then if you have questions, ask them. I'll answer them if I can. If I can't answer them, I will ask Bo and Deb and see, because it is kind of evolving now. It's just now opened this week. And here's what it is. So it's called NFR, which is not for resale. And what it is a different way of opening in a country versus the traditional way of us having a home office and launching materials and everything like that. So when you see direct sales companies that haven't even been around as long as we have, or barely longer than we have, and they're in like 30 countries, NFR is how they do it, versus these big, massive launches and investments in countries. So it's almost like a pre-launch, except that you're able to actually enroll and get product. And I'll explain how to do that in a minute. Then, if at some point there are enough ADOs and enough business, enough people there doing it, we will officially launch into the country. So the way that it's going to work is people in the Philippines who want to do the business as brand partners are Australian brand partners, and they should have the geo-tracking done by now. It to my knowledge, it launched yesterday. I know one person who did enroll a brand partner who lives here in the US, and then she was enrolling somebody in the Philippines when they woke up yesterday morning, and I'm pretty sure that went smoothly, that they got that handled. So how they're doing it, they are Australian brand partners for all intents and purposes. So pricing is the Australian pricing. Products are the Australian products. So the products are all of the skincare products and the Prolistic lotion, but not the powder. And then they are launching EHT here in the next few weeks. So they will have EHT once that launches in Australia. It will be $10 to ship to the Philippines. Everything will be shipped from Australia. So it's almost like an island. They're almost like pretending it's part of Australia, like an island off the coast of Australia or something. So if you enroll as a brand partner, you enroll with an Australian primary address. This can be any address that you can find. So another brand partner, a hotel, a post office, a drop ship type of address, whatever you need to put in there, because it's only for the purposes of the company to have an Australian primary address on file for the brand partner. It actually looks like, and Paisha, I'll send this to you so you can send it out to everybody if I haven't already, what it looks like in the back office. When you enroll, one of the options is Philippines shipping. So you click Philippines shipping, and then you will email support and get the Philippines shipping address put on that account. So everything will ship to the address in the Philippines for brand partners. Nothing will go to that Australian address at all. It's just an administrative address. And then for customers, we can enroll customers in the Philippines. People in the Philippines can enroll customers in the Philippines. And how they will do it is it will be a direct Philippines address. So I do not know if the geo-tracking is done on that. I meant to confirm that with Deb today to see if it was. The only difference is that means if it's the geo-tracking isn't done for customers yet, then they would need an Australian address for customers in the meantime, if that makes sense. So If you signed as a brand partner in the Philippines today and geo-tracking wasn't done and you had a customer, you would enter the Australian primary address and then link a shipping address to them. That is not the way it will be going forward. It will be direct to customers from anywhere in the world. Everybody understand that? So brand partners are Australian brand partners. Customers are just customers in the Philippines. Shipping is $10, I think I said. Pricing is Australian. I have spoken to a couple of people who have had some concern about kit pricing in the Philippines for people who are lower income, because there is a large impoverished percentage of the country. They need this opportunity. In fact, one of the reasons this is really exciting, I think, like for example, my husband, when he was in pharmaceuticals, he used to present to a Filipino doctors group, and they were always asking him when Nerium was going to open in the Philippines because so many people could use the opportunity there. So I think it's an incredible opportunity for people. We understand that the pricing, when you do the conversion, it is a lot of money for the poor who, but the opportunity one isn't going to be for everybody because it is a different kind of launch. So there is no price conversion to meet the standard of living there for most people. But the people that I've talked to who had people who definitely couldn't afford the kit because it was the same amount as their income for the month, but people who needed the opportunity, those people, I think we work with the basic kit and product because they need this opportunity. They're interested in this opportunity, and we can help them change their situation. So while just like here, while I certainly will never lead with that, I think we do have to consider that as an option for people there who simply cannot afford a starter kit because that's what they make in a month or that's what they make in 2 months' time. So be mindful of that with some of the population and be open to being creative in how you can help them with the kit and product that they start with, because we have an opportunity that can absolutely change their situation. I believe that. And it's just getting it into their hands. So be a little bit mindful of that. Or if people ask questions, every 3-way Zoom I've done so far, someone has brought that up, the cost. And again, that's just part and parcel to this not being a launch into the country where we have a head office there and the pricing matches the standard of living, all of that. So because they are funneling through Australia. Here's the other thing, or things. No social media about it. So you have to make personal contacts with people. Also, there will be no tools, no videos, no market parties, no Jeff Olson going to speak and doing a big regional or something. Everything that is provided to brand partners there is either Australian or created by us as leaders to get into their hands. So they have all of the Australian tools, which makes sense for them to use because that is the products that they have. That is the opportunity that they have. That's the same pricing. But if, for example, you needed something, and is anybody on here? Is anybody Filipino on here? Okay, so I cannot remember the language spoken, but I spoke to somebody who asked me about this. So most people speak English, but also there is a portion of the population who will only speak whatever the language is. I can't remember it. I'm so sorry. You can type it in the chat box. So if we need something translated into the language, then we need to do that ourselves. Yes. I was going to say Talangong, and I knew that was wrong. So sorry. But I have actually, if someone on the team didn't want to put the time into doing that or wasn't capable of doing that, we have like a 1-hour translation service and other translation services that we've used for Spanish-speaking brand partners and Cantonese and Mandarin that we can do. We can get documents or things translated into. Obviously, videos would be very difficult and probably expensive to do. But if someone spoke that language, we can work around that. Can you post before and afters on Facebook? No, there's no social media right now. So if they are there sharing on social media, they need to really be playing up the Australian component of it, is my understanding. This is more person to person, private conversations, meetings. If we have large enough population of brand partners and business there, then I think certainly we would have leaders who would go there. Absolutely. To do our own parties and trainings. In the meantime, we're going to use a lot of Zoom, just like we've used with Australia and Germany. So it would be on us as leaders to provide the tools and guidance and support. You sign somebody somewhere, you say, now what can I plug them into? You can plug them into us here. That's where we have to plug them in. Until they, as leaders, grow their own teams there and start doing their own thing. And then if it's big enough and we officially launch into the country, then we would have company sponsored events. But until that time, it's just team sponsored events. Does everybody understand that? Okay. What other questions do you have? I'm checking out the chat box here. It really is pretty straightforward and simple. It's just different. So we have to look at it in that different way. Yes, they'll have they are Australian brand partners. They will have Australian promotions. Everything's going through just like they're Australians. Yeah, that's what I was told, that most Filipinos speak English, but that there would be a portion of the population, and maybe that was based on economic circumstances, whether or not they speak English. But we will provide, it'll be the company provided Australian tools unless we provide our own tools. Sampling's different in Australia anyway, Beth. They don't have like where we can send a sample to somebody. They have to just order samples and hand them out to people. So they don't have that. Australia doesn't have that yet. What do you mean?
Like if we're going to promote it through the Australian marketing materials and they have a different currency than the Philippines, right?
Right. So it would be, they would have to make their own materials, or we would have to make them and do the price conversions for them.
Okay.
It's like 26,000 Philippine pesos for a $6.95 Australian starter kit.
Okay. We'll just put it on there.
We'll have to work out the conversions. This is really going to be, I think, for business builders who really want to build a business there, see the business opportunity, are really wanting to change their circumstance or make money. Because it's not going to be for the hobby brand partner who doesn't want to have to do any work to work their business. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be for people who really want this. So we're really looking for leaders there who want to do this and who want to be the very first people in the country to do this. Because if you think about it, they're going to have everybody underneath them. They're going to be the very first ones, which is incredible in any country. And they have the ability to grow the market, to lead, to establish their own leadership and parties and grow it for the company to then come in and pour the fuel on the fire once we have enough people there. And then I think we're going to have a lot of customers, because it is going to be very simple to have customers in the Philippines for anyone. So I can have a customer in the Philippines, an Australian brand partner can have a customer in the Philippines, someone in Germany can have a customer in the Philippines. We all are going to have the benefit of that as well. I can post, we can post the Australian kit information in the groups. It's in everybody's back office, the Australian pricing, but yes, we can post that. Any other questions? Paisha, anything you haven't covered?
I think a lot of people kind of like Debbie answered or questioned up here. It's just about approaching here in the States. What would be the best approach? This Debbie has doctors that she wants to approach that she knows.
So don't overthink it, because it's going to be just like if you were approaching somebody here about the opportunity anyway. But here's what you get to add on. It's really exciting because we're opening in the Philippines. It's essentially a pre-launch, so everybody is going to have an incredible opportunity, ground floor, very first people there. We can get product into their hands, get people started, and that's really all you need to do is just exactly how you would approach people here, but add on what that opportunity means in a new country where it's ground floor. The sky's the limit for them. So Alyssa Moore also actually had really good language, and I can find that here. Try to read it for you, that she sent to somebody and immediately got back. Yes, they were interested. So I was looking for that to read it, but maybe I'll just send that to you, Paisha and Beth.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of long to read, but she said, right now we're in a pre-build phase, so it's the chance to be one of the very first brand partners with massive growth potential. If you're interested in hearing more, I would love to chat. Or you may know someone who would be. Either way, I hope you're doing great. And the person immediately came back with, yes, I want to hear more. So just really simple language like that.
Okay. A couple other questions I see.
Doctors here to sign as a brand partner.
Pam, yes. I would think for the Philippine currency kit pricing, I would think just there's probably a calculator on Google or something for the conversion rate. And then Beth says, send them any Australian videos, right?
Yes. Anything on it's Australian. So the other thing that has gotten a really good response is the overarching product video. That is what a lot of people have been sending. It's gotten a really good response, and then just being clear about what products are available to them right now. Eventually, Australia and the Philippines will have all of the products, but so then just being clear about which ones they have available right now, and then they can get excited about what's coming. Debbie, would it be best then for doctors here to sign? Yes. So have them sign. They would enroll as a brand partner, and then they can enroll brand partners in the Philippines underneath them as Australian brand partners and have those people getting customers. Yeah.
Okay, a couple questions up here that we missed. Signing up to be a BP from the Philippines, what address would they be using in Australia initially? Oh, what address and would they be using in Australia initially? I think that's the question. I don't know. So the address is kind of like the primary address would be first, right? And then the billing.
Yeah, and that's what the company's going to keep. So that's what they're going to type in. They're going to type in the Australian address. And, we'll have to work with people to make sure that they get an address to use. But it truly can be any address.
It could be the post office.
Right. Because it's just for purposes of our system accepting them, being able to accept them as a brand partner. And then the shipping address will be their address in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. And then the billing address could be their billing address with their credit card.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's pretty much 3 different addresses that could possibly be on this. Technically, if they were going.
I mean, usually the billing is whatever they're shipping.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Seco says, how much are HIQ night and day in the U.S.? So the U.S. would just be the $90, and then the combo would be $140. But I don't know. I don't know what they are in Australia, actually, because that would be, what we would need for this.
Yeah. So all of the Australian materials are available to us in the marketing center. And if you look at Go Prospect, you can switch your Go Prospect to Australia from the US or wherever you're at. And then you'll be able to see everything that they have. Go Prospect. So you just change the country.
Okay. Cool. And so no samples right now. So yeah, like Jen said, there are the sampling is just different. They don't have the smaller packs like we have now. It is just.
Well, they do have them. So they can order them, but they don't have any way to send them out through Go Prospect. Yeah.
Right.
So they can order them and have them and sample them out, but they don't have a way to send them through Go Prospect.
Yeah.
Yep. Can you read the video? So people have had good luck with that overarching product video. And then there's a short, like a shorter Better with Nerium video that people have sent. But honestly, it's more about, for me and for how I think you guys should build, and what I've been doing with the people I'm already working with, is getting them that initial contact and information, and then getting on a Zoom with a leader, because they want to ask these questions. They want to hear who you are and who we are and what we're about. They want to see what team they're going to be on. It's the same as building in Australia. And I don't know if there's any Australians on here, but Nikki, you know this, and Paisha, you know this. We Zoom with those Australian prospects, and we Zoom and talk to them. They want to see what they're going to be a part of. And it's just, that has been number one for building internationally for us, in Germany as well. They want to get on, and even if they speak German and we have somebody translate, they want to see us face to face and see who they're going to be working with and who is going to support them. So really, I think your main way of building is going to be making that initial contact, getting their interest, and sending maybe overarching product video, or even just talking to them back and forth about what we have, depending on what type of person you are. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge video sender, because I like to just communicate what the products are. Other people are better off or like sending videos, and then getting them immediately on a Zoom with somebody. It's almost like a 3-way call. Just don't call it that. Because it's getting their products answered. And a great thing to say to them is to see the kind of support you would get, and who you would have as a team leader and be on this team with. It makes a huge difference when they can see your heart and see what we're about in person when they're across the globe from us.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. This was so helpful. I know what I think is so interesting is that we have launched in many countries, and I don't know about you guys, but do you remember when we would launch in countries and there would be like hundreds of people already started, and we'd be like, what happened? How did that happen?
I know.
This is how it happened.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
This is how it happens. Like Australia was basically NFR and we didn't even know it.
Yep.
And now that's why I'm really digging into it and having communication about it every day, because we are not going to be left behind on this. That is not going to be what happens. We're not going to wake up and find out there's 10,000 brand partners in the Philippines, and have to catch up, feel like we're catching up, or like we're left out of it. We're also going to have a couple of other countries NFR in December, and then we will continue to grow from there. So it's going to be a really exciting time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really exciting time.
Cool. Well, does anyone have any other questions? And I have recorded this, so I will send everyone that has missed it or jumped on late, I will send you the recording and we can go from there. All right, guys. Thanks for jumping on. Beth, do you have something?
Yeah. Stella was just asking about, she has a customer who is here, I think. What did you say, Stella? She wants to upgrade to a brand partner? Is it the same? Like if she's already a customer? Stella, can you unmute yourself?
There you go. You're good.
Try one more time.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I have a PC here in the US, but now she's in the Philippines. And if she intends to be a brand partner, should that be done like establishing an Australian address as well?
Yep. She can't upgrade to a brand partner through her US account.
Okay.
Yeah. She'll have to establish a new account as an Australian brand partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if she has like PCs from there, she can just go ahead and order from the Australian site.
Yeah, they would go to her website just like they would do for us or do now, and it should work for them to order and enter their Philippine shipping address.
Okay.
Yep. And if there are issues, make sure communicate them immediately, because we can get with Bo and Deb. And I know Bo had said he would process paper applications as necessary, and we would get, they'll work with us on any glitches that might come up. I haven't heard that there have been any issues yet.
Okay. All right.
The only thing
I have to assume that everything's going to go through Australia. So if somebody, is here, they're either going to be a USBP and sign up people in the Philippines as customers or Australian brand partners, or if they're going to be living there part of the time and want to be a brand partner there, then they have to be an Australian brand partner.
So they will have an Australian website.
Yeah.
So that would be the only thing that I think would be kind of confusing, not to send that website if you were a Philippines brand partner to then send it on to other Philippines. I just think that would be kind of confusing. Don't you agree, Jen? If it has all Australian information?
It will to some degree, but it would kind of be, if you look at our website on the main page, it doesn't really mention anything about the country. It's just information that pertains to what we have available here. So I don't think it would be that confusing unless they didn't speak English.
But the pricing would be different. We would just have to tell them that.
Yeah, they just have to know, because that's just going to be the only way to do it. Or, like many of us here, collect their information and enter the order for them.
Right.
So, Paisha, should we reach out to you if we have people that we need to Zoom with?
Yeah, you can reach out to me first. We can go from there.
Okay.
Jen, I'm just concerned about our postal service there. I'm just very weary about it because I haven't lived there for quite a while, but more than 25, 27 years. But at that time when I lived there, you don't really send anything through the postal, especially coming from here to send there. We have somebody who goes home, brings the stuff to them. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. Like if you send a kit, like if a brand partner signs up a kit.
Well, it would ship directly from Australia, from Nerium in Australia to the Philippines, to their address in the Philippines.
That's my only concern,
I can't really do, we can't really do anything about that because there's no other way. It has to be shipped from somewhere.
But what about a customer service? They go through Australia too?
Yes, everything is through Australia.
Okay.
Yes.
And because of course the dollar changes, so it's based on exchange, Australian dollar exchange.
Mm-hmm.
That's how, because it really fluctuates, up and down.
Right. Which is why people will just have to do the conversions. That's why we say, it's not going to be for everybody this way, that there's some people that will have to wait going forward, because it's not going to, if somebody's just a hobby brand partner that wants to get their product for free and gets frustrated with having to deal with the Australian conversion, we're going to have to be mindful of that. That's just how this is. Everybody needs to know that and not get frustrated going forward, because it's not going to change. That's just how it is for now. And that's why I said the people who are serious about wanting to build a business are going to be okay with that. And then customers aren't really going to have that much of an issue, other than maybe a slight fluctuation on what the pricing in Australia is, but they'll know generally at the time to have that calculated. There are definitely online calculators everywhere, because people have been calculating stuff all day. Conversions. So, yeah. So it's a little bit different, but it's still exciting. It's a way to get in ground floor, and it's going to help bring in orders, and it's going to help increase teams and growth and volume. And I'm actually shocked how many people know people in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody anywhere. But so many people know people in the Philippines. And Jody was really excited because those doctors have been excited for years.
This is awesome. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for sharing all this information with us. And this is amazing volume for even October to get PCs in and all of that. So
yeah. Trip volume.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you.
night.